Every single NBA season, we see different players improve and have breakout seasons. Some are expected, and others just blossom out of nowhere. Breakout players are one of the most fascinating and exciting topics every NBA season, and in this video, I will be giving my predictions on 5 players I think will break out in the 2020 NBA season. Malik Monk. Malik Monk is a 6'3" guard who was drafted 11th overall in the 2017 NBA draft by the Charlotte Hornets. In his lone season at Kentucky, Malik averaged 20 points per game, showing off his explosiveness along with his sweet shooting touch, as he shot nearly 40% from behind the arc in college. In the NBA, Malik has received inconsistent minutes, playing for notorious veteran lover Steve Clifford his rookie year, and this previous season for James Borrego. Malik hasn't put up the greatest stats so far in his NBA career, but in his limited role he has shown all the flashes he's shown in college. Now that Kemba Walker has left Charlotte, the Hornets are headed for a rebuilding period, and with no expectation of winning, I expect Malik to get an increase in minutes to build alongside Charlotte's young core, including Dwayne Macon, who also had a case for being on this list, Miles Bridges, PJ Washington, and some other unknowns, such as the Martin twins, who both recently signed contracts by Charlotte. I expect Malik to have a huge jump in production and will establish himself as a deadly scorer in this league. And even though he hasn't quite showed off lots of creating abilities, he's an ideal off-ball player in the modern NBA, able to play off of anybody with his quickness, vertical, and jump shot. Expect a big year out of Malik Monk. Luke Kennard. Drafted directly after Malik Monk, another shooting guard I'm going to be talking about is Luke Kennard. Luke Kennard has always been an effective shooter since the minute he stepped onto an NBA court, with a career three-point percentage over 40%. Luke was great for Detroit in the second half of the year, as from March until the end of the regular season, Luke was averaging 11.5 points, 3.1 rebounds, and 2.4 assists per game, while shooting 43% from 3 on 5 attempts per game and shooting 96% from the free throw line. Luke also balled out in the playoffs. He averaged 15 points per game, shooting 49% from the field and 60% from 3, along with grabbing 4 boards a game. Luke has continuously gotten better at being a tough shot hitter, and I expect him to have a great year for Detroit. I anticipate him winning over the starting shooting guard role and could see him putting up similar stats to those he put up in the playoffs, although with a more human-like efficiency. Justice Winslow. Justice Winslow, I think, is ready to have his year. After struggling with both offense and injuries in his first few years in the league, Justice is coming off a career year for the Heat. Eric Spoelstra experimented with some Justice Winslow point guard when Goran Dragic went down with an injury, and when he returned, Justice started running more point forward, which greatly complements his game. I think Jimmy Butler in Miami next to Winslow and Dragic, Miami will have a really dynamic offense. Winslow is very effective as a point forward. He's huge for a wing, he's very athletic, has a solid handle as an extremely smart basketball player with good court vision. In a 35-game stretch from December 23rd to March 15th, Justice averaged 14 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, and 1 steal. But the best part of that is that he shot 39% from 3 on 4 attempts per game. Justice had struggled with the jumper his first few years in the league, and has finally come around. That, paired with his increased role in Miami's offense, I think he's ready to have a big jump in production all around. Jakob Poeltl. Jakob Poeltl was one of the pieces in the Kawhi Leonard trade, a 7-foot, soon-to-be 24-year-old center. Jakob hasn't had lots of opportunities to shine, but he showed he can play. While I don't think Jakob is a star or anything, I think he could be a very good center in this league, and I think he'll benefit a lot from Tim Duncan becoming a Spurs assistant coach. Jakob is an ideal center in today's NBA, an athletic, rim-rolling rim protector. For his career, he shot 64% from the field. This season he averaged almost as many rebounds as points, and he averaged about 1 block per game in only 16 minutes per game. Prior to the draft, he was praised for being very coachable, having fantastic footwork on defense and an incredible touch around the basket. All those things considered, along with San Antonio trading away Davis Bertans in hopes of landing Marcus Morris, which opens up more minutes in the front court, I think Jakob has a very good season ahead of him. Cedi Osman. Cedi Osman came off a great second year in Cleveland, averaging 13 points, 5 rebounds, and 2.6 assists per game. Cedi is a versatile swingman who is a knockdown spot shooter, a good defensive player, has an athletic NBA body with very good basketball IQ and great court vision. Cedi is the starting 3 spot locked up, and I think he plays major minutes this year for a Cavs team that will not be good. I think with his ability to handle, shoot, and pass, along with Sexton and Garland's, Cleveland's offensive potential is crazy, although it has yet to be seen if John Balin implements a system that complements 3 ball handlers. And even if it doesn't, I'm not worried about Cedi. Thanks to his IQ, feel for the game, athleticism, and great jumper, Cedi's a great player off the ball. And historically, Balin is a coach who loves 3-pointers. I expect Cedi to have a year with much improved stats and great efficiency, while fitting in the system being a good defensive player who was always a threat in both transition and the half court. Those are 5 players that I think will have breakout seasons this year. I stayed away entirely from second-year players. I think their natural progression isn't enough to warrant breakout seasons, and that would just be too easy. Although I think with Monty Williams as coach in favor of Igor Kokoshkov, DeAndre Ayton will go absolutely nuclear this upcoming season. What do you think about this list? Who do you think will break out? Let me know down in the comments. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'm out.